I got scared of the library as a kid. I never told anyone what I saw, or thought I saw. Even now, remembering it sends a shiver through me. I sat in one of the quiet study stalls and focused on my notes. My pencil rolled off the table and landed near the bookshelf. As I leaned down to pick it up, I froze. Just under the bookshelf, a green, scaly tail slipped out of sight the moment my fingers touched the pencil. My breath caught in my throat. The tail had moved. Quickly, deliberately. It has a strong sense of danger and reflex like that of a startled cat. I sat back up slowly, heart thudding, but forced myself to focus on the open book in front of me. It was probably just a lizard, I told myself. Some kid's oversized pet that got loose. It made sense, sort of. I didn't want to think about it too much. I never did. Quiet and withdrawn, I was used to keeping things to myself, burying strange moments under layers of silence. So, I kept reading, kept pretending, never mentioning the green tail to anyone. Not then, not ever. I turned the page, moving on to the next subject. The library had settled back into its usual calm vibe. A few seats near me, I noticed one of my classmates, Dina, shy girl with messy hair and long blouse, too long for her size. The girl who rarely spoke. She sat hunched over her notebook, sketching with quiet intensity. I glanced over just briefly and caught sight of her drawing. A woman's face, soft and calm, with kind, almost glowing eyes. There was something about the expression, gentle but watchful, that made me pause. But Dina didn't look up. She just kept drawing, like she didn't even realize I was watching. After a while, I packed my things and headed home. The image of the green tail is still in my mind. That night, after dinner, curiosity got the better of me. I sat at my desk, opened my laptop, and searched for large green lizard species. Pictures of iguanas, monitor lizards, and other reptiles filled the screen. Some big, some even massive, but none of them matched what I saw. Their scales were smoother, more uniform, almost too soft in comparison. The tail I saw in the library was different, rougher, thicker, covered in wide, jagged scales like small pieces of armor. I closed the laptop slowly, a strange unease settling over me. Whatever it was, It wasn't just a lizard. The next day at school, our teachers asked the class to present the drawings we had worked on for homework. One by one, we stood in front of the room, holding up their sketches. Landscapes, superheroes, animals. When it was Dina's turn, she walked slowly to the front, clutching her notebook to her chest. Her messy hair fell into her face, but she didn't push it back. She turned the page and held it up. It was the same drawing. The woman with the kind, watchful eyes. "This is my mom," Dina said softly. Almost too quiet for the class to hear. "She passed away when I was little. But I remember her face. I draw her a lot." She paused, then added, "She always made me feel safe. Like, no matter what was happening, she was watching." I turned to look at our classmates, and they seemed to whisper to one another insensitively. But some were praising her drawing skills. I shifted in my seat. There was something in Dina's voice. Something about the way she said "watching" that made my chest tighten. I glanced at the drawing again. Those eyes. I couldn't explain it, but they felt sad and worried. During lunch break, I found Dina sitting alone under a tree, picking at her sandwich without really eating. I hesitated, then walked over, the memory of her drawing still lingering in my mind. "Hey, that woman you drew," I said quietly. "Your mom, she looked nice. I mean, sort of. Sorry about your loss, I hope." Dina didn't answer. She looked up at me, her eyes calm but unreadable, like a pane of glass hiding something deeper. Then, without a word, she stood, brushed off her skirt, and walked away across the grass, leaving me there in the silence. I watched her go, a strange chill creeping in. There was something about the way she moved, too deliberate, too distant. Then it clicked. Dina. She was the girl from last year, the one who had collapsed in the hallway during the winter term. Eyes rolled back, muttering things no one could understand. The teachers had called it a seizure, but everyone whispered it was something else. Possessed, some kids had said. I hadn't believed it then, but now I wasn't so sure. She hadn't been the same since. During study time, I made my way back to the library. the weight of Dina's presence still pressing on my mind. I tried to shake it off, convincing myself I was overthinking everything. Books, facts, routine. That was what I needed. But Dina was sitting on her usual spot, still quiet and eyes focused on her drawing. Halfway through reviewing my notes, I felt an uneasy pressure in my chest. I grabbed my water bottle and took sips and wiped my sweaty forehead. I told myself it was nothing. I got up and headed toward the bathroom near the back of the library to clear my head. As I pushed open the door, I stopped dead. There it was. Massive, green, crouched near the far wall like it had just landed. Scales rough and jagged like broken stones. Its eyes were enormous, glossy, and intelligent. A single upward curved fang jutted from its mouth, glinting like bone. It looked like something torn straight from the pages of a mythology book. Ancient, impossible, wrong. It turned and looked right at me. I couldn't breathe, couldn't blink. Time cracked around me. Then, in a flash of motion, too fast to track, it slithered up the wall, through the narrow bathroom window, and vanished into the outside ground. I still heard the dry leaves it stepped on. I stood frozen, heart hammering, the silence screaming in my ears. I wasn't imagining it this time. It was real. In the days that followed, I tried to move on. I told myself the creature must have been some rare, undocumented animal. Maybe something exotic that escaped from a collector. I even searched again, deeper into obscure reptile forums and cryptid websites, but nothing matched the creature's jagged scales, those ancient eyes, or the fang that looked more like a weapon than a tooth. I stopped searching after that. Some things weren't meant to be found on the internet. Then, one morning, gossips floated through the classroom. Dina was transferring to another school. No one knew why. She didn't say goodbye to many people. On her last day, she quietly packed up her things, slipping her books and notebooks into her bag as if it were any other afternoon. But when the final bell rang and she left, I noticed something under her desk, her sketch pad. I picked it up, unsure whether to return it or keep it safe until I saw her again. Curiosity pulled me in. Flipping through the pages, past drawings of her mother, nature scenes, and soft, eerie portraits. I stopped cold. There it was, the lizard, drawn in sharp pencil lines, its scales rough and jagged, its body coiled like it was ready to spring. Those same massive eyes stared from the page, intelligent and unblinking. The upward fang gleamed with a white smudge of pencil. It was exact. Too exact. She had seen it, too. As I turned the pages, more and more absurd creatures were shown. I can't tell if they looked ridiculous or scary. It could be both. One page even showed her mom, looking disturbingly so happy. Her smile so wide, her eyes squinting, and her eyebrows turning upward, creating creases on her forehead. My hands trembled slightly as I closed the sketch pad. Dina hadn't just drawn her memories. She had drawn what was watching us. Or maybe she had drawn what she wanted to exist.